Come to 133 Promenade Walk in Long Beach Sunday, January 21st at the Model Grand Opening. Check out the bright open spaces, the amenities, the lifestyle. The first 100 people will receive $10,000 towards their closing costs. Come on down. You may never leave. Log on to 133promenade.com for floor plans and more details.
Welcome back, everybody. It is the Conway Whitman Show. We're live on 97.1 Free FM. Here 8 to 11 p.m. every single weeknight. Sam Simon joins us with Norm Macdonald. Sam Simon is a world-renowned producer of some of the hottest sitcoms on the planet. And what happened to... Now, this is a show business question because you're obviously in show business. You know a lot of people.
What happened to...
the sitcom is over, right?
Yes.
I mean,
the three-camera sitcom is gone and will never be back.
Okay. But all of those sitcoms in the 70s and 80s, they all had writing staffs of about 15 to 20 guys per show.
It got like that, yeah.
Okay.
In the 90s, yeah.
All right, but what happened to these guys? I mean, where'd they all go?
A lot of them are facing some pretty hard times. They bought expensive homes.
Right.
They were making the money was crazy back then, Tim.
What did you pay a showrunner back then?
Oh, a showrunner? Forget showrunner. Like you could be.
What did you pay a writer back then? $10,000 a week?
Oh my God, Tim! You could pay a guy $10,000 a night.
Is that right?
Who wasn't even that good?
Really?
Yep.
Wow.
They just come in one night a week.
When you say that the three
I gotta
camera...
get that job.
What?
I got to get that job.
You
I'm
can
not
easily
that good
have
either.
that job.
That was
Are
the
you
best
kidding?
job. That
You would have been
punch-up
good
guy
at
that
it.
came in once a week.
$25,000. I heard you can get some guys charge $25,000 a night to come in and write jokes, and sometimes they wouldn't write any.
Sometimes they wouldn't.
Wow. Seems like a waste of money.
It was a huge waste of money.
I mean, if I was going to have a guy over the house for $25,000,
it was such a buyer's market. You needed people, so these guys that had some credits, they could sit back and say, "Well, I don't want to work every day, but I'll come in 2 days a week."
But I'm saying if you hired a guy for $25,000 a night to come in and write jokes,
right?
And sometimes that guy would sit in and not write a joke,
I would be furious.
I would be out of my mind. That's like hiring a guy to come over to build a fence for you in the backyard for $25,000. And he doesn't do it.
Right.
But these guys get away with it, huh?
They did for a while.
Jesus Christ. I'd like to have that kind of money. All right, so what happened to these...
Well, they were making so much money on those shows.
Right.
These shows were really popular. People really liked them, as opposed to now, where it is my belief that the three-camera shows that are on the air
now. When you say that, you use that term. A guy driving around doesn't. What's a three-camera show mean?
A three-camera show is that style of comedy. It's not like Scrubs, which is great, or My Name is Earl, or The Office. I'm talking about that traditional show that's shot in front of an audience, and it's called a three-camera show because they're shooting with 3 or 4 cameras simultaneously.
Right.
And it's this amped up, unrealistic. The acting is overblown. They're playing to the house. They write all these jokes that aren't really funny. And I think it's like the old Hollywood musicals, which went out of style because they just seem so silly now. And
was Everyone Loves Raymond? Was that a three-camera show?
It was, and that was a great one.
Yeah, that was a great... I saw that today. That show is hysterical.
I saw one. I really didn't watch it, every week, but we were just talking about that. I think that's probably the last great one that went off the air.
Right. And how many shows do you need to
it used to be 100 to get into syndication. Is that what you were asking?
Yeah.
It used to be 100. Now I think it can be less. But see,
but that's where the money is, right?
That is where the money is, but that whole business has changed. There's DVDs now, and all that's different now. So
where's the money to be made in show business now? It's reality?
Well, they make money in reality shows and the primetime game shows because they cost so little to make. They can make money first run on those.
Oh, I see, right.
In other words,
no
like they used to run a huge deficit when they would make, some of these shows, especially with big stars in the first season, like say the Matt LeBlanc show,
right? The Joey show.
Joey, yeah. I mean, I would guess that show was running, millions in deficit.
Right.
First run, in the first season.
Right.
Because they were counting on it being a hit, and they had, quality, experienced producers,
Right,
successful producers.
They're running a show that's
had a star.
Like it's a hit that's not already a hit.
Right. They're banking on it stuff, but
Right, so they lost a lot of money on it.
I would guess, yeah.
Right. All right, Norm Macdonald is with us, and Sam Simon, and Norm's just finishing his dinner. Jesus Christ, he's got a whole bag.
The Norm Show was a really expensive show.
An entire bag of chips in his mouth, man.
Tim?
I didn't think you'd notice.
Did you get another Fanta? We were out there having Fanta orange sodas, and Norm was reminiscing about having Fanta as a child, and now he's hitting the Fanta. Like that's your second or third Fanta tonight, isn't it?
Bring you back to childhood, huh?
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to eat in the studio like this.
That smoking.
You didn't realize you might have to talk on a radio?
That smoking's really got you, huh?
Yeah.
Got to keep busy.
But Sam's right. Like, TV is
He's back to what he knows now. See, he got a hint to the guy. Taking the attention off the inappropriate eating in the room and
right back to the Fanta.
hitting his expertise.
Yeah, TV, like, in the old days, they'd have TV shows, and nowadays they have, like, people, like, look at computers.
Right. But if you...
No, it's real. They play those computer games, too, I think.
No, YouTube.
The video games.
YouTube. People watch YouTube.
All right, but where is the money to be made in show business today? I mean, where are the people?
There's lots of money to be made everywhere. These guys that make the video games make a lot of money. You can still make money doing these TV shows and the movies. There's lots of money to be made.
But it's not the same kind of money back. It was back in the 80s, right?
Stealing, like from the sitcoms that they used to have.
Right. But where, I mean, are people in reality-based TV shows right now? Is the budget close to what the sitcoms were?
No.
No. Hey, do me a favor. Hey, Jerry, can you shut Norm's mic off for this segment? Yeah, just shut it off. Thanks.
Also,
buddy.
why would you like if
when
you
you're
want
done with your chips? You'll
if you want
come
to
back
sneak
in.
like some food in the store? Why do you do potato chips?
I don't know.
Isn't that like the worst? Wasn't there like something soft in the machine?
And then after three guys pointed out, there didn't seem to be any kind of slowdown.
What are those?
Yeah, his mic's off. But when you're done with the chips, we'll turn it back on. No, it drives people nuts when they hear that noise, you know.
The bag is noisy too.
Yeah, he's got. But I like how he was opening the bag underneath the console light.
I'm trying to hide it. It was very innocent.
Hey, you know on highlights Goofus and Gallant?
All right.
Remember Goofus
Norm's
and Gallant?
Mike's back.
No. You remember Goofus and Gallant?
No, I don't know who
In
that is.
highlights, one guy did everything bad and one guy did
in the
everything.
magazine.
Yeah, I come in with Norm. He's eating chips.
Right.
The mic has to be shut off.
Right.
Here I am. I've got the
got your top
cap
on your drink.
the top on my drink. I'm
There you
telling
go.
anecdotes.
Sitting up and sharing your expertise.
Sharing
There
my
you go.
expertise on TV.
All right. Norm Macdonald and Sam Simon are with us. Talking about
Norm's funnier, though.
Well, I was wondering if you find, like, because Sam was saying, like, sitcoms of the old days are relics and everything like that. Me, personally, I watch The Honeymooners and, I Love Lucy and shows like that.
Right.
That have live studio audiences.
Yeah,
I can't get used to these shows without audience.
Like My Name is Earl?
I can't get, I need laughter. I need people laughing.
Right, in order for you to
With
laugh.
me,
right.
in order for me to laugh.
Yeah. Now, I've seen, it's one of my favorite shows, My Name is Earl.
There's people that watch silent movies and enjoy them still.
Right. But I've noticed also in television, especially in comedies, where this happens to be true, and it wasn't true of Seinfeld, and it wasn't true of Everyone Loves Raymond, but it is true of the sitcoms that are out now, or at least the comedies that are out nowadays, that some of them are really good and some of them are really, really bad.
You don't think that's always been true?
I don't think so. I think in Raymond there was a consistent level of humor throughout the whole series.
Oh, you mean in individual
series?
series?
I'm talking in a series.
Yeah, maybe.
But now the comedies are on today. One of them, it can be really great one Tuesday night, and the next Tuesday night could be just dreadful.
One thing about that, this may be. There's a reason they like the audience, and there's a reason you rehearse there. I always wondered about that for the hour shows, except on The Simpsons, we had people whose judgment we trusted the whole time, and, we used to do the readings and stuff like this. But on the 4-camera shows, you did have a crew. You did have all these run-throughs. You did have people that were sitting in the audience the whole time. You did have rehearsals. So, I mean, maybe that's something as opposed to these shows now where they send the pages out to a set
Right.
And they got a director there. I don't know if you trust him or not, but, you know, it is true. I wonder, like, how do you know whether the stuff's going to be good or not?
But where did all those people go? I mean, all the people that used to work on sitcoms,